And I went into a sort of state of mind where I didn't really want to see anyone. I didn't want to sort of come into contact with anyone because I felt so guilty and so ashamed that my body had failed my son. You know, everyone else's body manages to achieve it, but mine hasn't. And it was very difficult to come to terms with that, and I don't think I'm truly still at terms with that.
There were moments where I felt totally alone, which was mad because I got my partner, we got Jasper, I got a loving family and friends, but in those moments it was like I was just me.
I definitely felt isolated. I think it's a completely different experience being a father and losing a child. And it's different in a multitude of ways. Why aren't you grieving the same as I am? Yeah. Which was a constant conversation that we would have with Bev. He doesn't grieve, he's not upset. I am, it's just in different ways. Or if I'm upset, I'll isolate myself I'll go for a drive and be upset, because if everybody's happy for the day in the family and I'm down, I need to try and keep people happy for as long as possible, because I don't know when the next sad day's coming. How incredibly supportive Bev and Petals were, because they helped me to articulate that in a way that Daria could understand, and Bev helped Daria to appreciate that not everybody grieves in the same way, and that Liam is grieving but he's having to play a dual role, and that's what the sessions were incredibly helpful in doing, is I suppose shining a light on my isolation.
I think what I didn't expect was to build up such a positive therapeutic relationship, you know, which I think we've built up, you know, in you sort of supporting us. You know, I don't know why I wasn't expecting that, but it's a wonderful thing, because that's kind of what you need. You need to be able to trust your counsellor, you know, to be able to open your heart up to them. And say my expectations, you know, have been met and taken beyond, you know, with the support that Jackie has given us. For me, Petals has meant that we've had help, we've had support, we've been able to talk and to help us start the process of stepping forwards. I don't use the phrase move on, because you can't move on, and we don't want to. But you can step forwards and carry on living your life. And Petals has meant that we've been able to start that process. And without having had our support from Jackie and from Petals, I think we'd still be stuck in quite a rut.
When you go into, you know, counselling, you can put your whole deck of cards on the table. You can throw them all on the deck and go, this is everything. You know, you, as much as some people say, oh yeah, I can tell my family and friends everything, you don't. But, you know, sometimes, you know, we can be quite reserved and, you know, want to keep some things back, but you can't move forward, or you can't begin to move forward until you kind of start from scratch. And through such a brutal loss and experience, well, that I kind of then saw that as the moment to rebuild, and I think that's where Petals comes in and helps with that rebuilding.
A lot of the work, you know, really is down to the clients themselves, to have faith that they can take these next steps. Well, if they don't feel safe enough and connected enough to the person that's actually, you know, extending that, you know, you're putting that, you are putting the hand out. So to then put, like, say for me to put my hand out, you've got to have that trust. It's okay.
And
I'm here for you.
And it is putting that trust in you know, from my side, it was that respectful, so respectful, you know, to, you know, speak to me when I was at my lowest, you know, to talk about so respectfully about Barney, about Jasper, about Kaylee, that non-judgy, you know, because again, you know, as we can very quickly build up an idea, and actually when you go into a counselling or speak with you, it's so different. And you're not judged, you're not a number. That's one thing I'd say, like, you know, with the help with you and, you know, Petals counselling, like, you're not just a number in a folder.
And I remember the doctor just turning to us and saying, like, I'm really sorry. And it's in that, like, those 3 words that you're just, like, you just shatter. And trust is really important. Like, you know, you want to build a relationship with them. You want to know that you can tell them exactly how you feel and not be judged. And I think that in a couple, you will judge each other when you say stuff, and you'll say stuff you don't mean, but it will come out, and you'll open up, and that'll be the worst thing you can do. But I think that when you trust a counsellor, and when you know that they're independent, and when you know that they have your best interests at heart, you're able to open up exactly how you feel, because they've built up that strong relationship.
So I think to be able to build that trust, to I think so that relationship, that rapport with them needs to be established, so that, you know, Liam, Daria could get to that place where, you know, they was able to, you know, to let everything out.
I think it's nice to be in a happy, loving marriage and with a beautiful future ahead of us, and we have children, but the reality is there were times when I didn't think that that's where I would be almost 2 years later. I genuinely didn't think that, and I'll say it to everybody I meet about this wonderful charity, that it kept our relationship going. Betty wouldn't be here, my daughter Betty would not be here today if I hadn't have met Bev, and if she hadn't have helped Dara and I to unlock how different our grief was, and to understand what it was like for each other to grieve, and to enable us to give each other the space to grieve separately, but also the space to grieve together. And all of that is down to this wonderful woman to my left, who unlocked all that for us.